Come here. Get off.
Hey y'all. Today we're talking to Chi Love, pronouns she and her. She is the CEO and founder of NYA Love and Dating Services. She's also a certified matchmaker and dating specialist who enjoys working with singles all over the United States, ages 26 to 68, who are single, entanglement free, and serious about their search to find true love. I love the parameters. We're going to have to talk about that.
Yes.
Her goal is to help others navigate the ups and downs of dating and relationships. She's determined to provide a matchmaking and dating service that continues to help her community thrive in the dating world. She's been nicknamed the Love Genie as she does her very best to make wishes come true. Her hope is to continue changing the world one heart at a time. Hey, Chi.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
So Kenrya has questions that she wrote out, but I always like to go a little off. Okay. So we knew we wanted a matchmaker, right? We're like, we saw these best of, so, you didn't got to sort and find black people, right? So it was like, oh, those are black faces. Yeah. Then what really turned us on about you and your service is that, one, you got black people on your page. Like, it is clear that you're black and you're blackity black. And also,
and that you care about black people and you wasn't trying to hide us 3 pages in.
Yeah, not at all.
Oh my God. Remember, can I talk about the picture?
What?
So if we have to, we'll cut this part out. So we were looking and there was this one chick and she had a website and this black man had the worst fucking haircut on earth, to the point where you could tell you don't know black people if you thought that this was an acceptable photo to put on your fucking landing page. I was like, hell no.
It was an instant move on.
I was like, I ain't even going no further than this. But also, you make it clear that you work with not just cis het folk, but like all of us, which we thought was so important. And it's great to, other people may do it, but like from this front, you were black and inclusive. And so we were like, yes.
And what was wild is that we were both like going through lists separately. And then we were emailing each other our favorites at the same time. And you were both of our favorite in crisscrossing emails.
My heart.
Yes.
Thank you. So we're very happy you agreed to be here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back to Kenrya's questions. I probably will veer.
We definitely gonna veer because I got questions about how you pick who you work with, which I should have put in here, but we'll get there. Go ahead.
Okay, so what did you want to be when you grew up?
So many things. I know I really just wanted to be happy. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be wealthy, but I didn't really have a specific thing that I wanted to be. I know in 7th grade, I was very fond of Maya Angelou, and I was like, I want to be a poet. I want to be a writer. I just want to write because I love writing. And when I read I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, I think that's the title of it, I fell in love with literature in itself. So I think I wanted to be a writer and a poet at a young age. I think that's what I really wanted to do. And mainly because of Maya Angelou, because she was everything. When Phenomenal Woman came out, even still, like, it just gives me goosebumps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how did you get from there to here? How did you become a matchmaker?
Yeah. So I saw this movie Hitch with Will Smith.
I remember that movie.
And he was such a good dating coach and he was funny. And I was like, oh, I like him. I've always loved Will Smith, but I love what he's doing. And so I Googled one day, because I live in Washington State, matchmakers in my area. Let me see if I can try to see what's around here. Nobody looked like me. I was like, oh, okay. So not very many people are doing this, and then I got even more curious about what it would take to become a matchmaker. So I started doing my research on different institutes and certifications. And then I found the Matchmaking Institute, and they have been the only matchmaking institute, if you will, to actually have someone go on to have their own show, which was the Millionaire Matchmaker. So I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to do it big. And so I went with the Matchmaking Institute, and they're based out of Manhattan. And it was very, very, very challenging in some ways, like to get started. It took me a while before I finally bit the bullet, but I was ready. And I launched February 2020. And I was excited because it's Black History Month, the month of love. Yes. And literally less than 2 weeks after my announcement on Facebook and Instagram, this is my website, COVID happened. I was like, wait a minute.
Well,
yeah.
But I feel like you probably...
That would be a good circumstance.
I am single, so had I known, I would have been beating your doors down like, girl, find me somebody to snuggle in the middle of this pandemic.
It was a little bit of both. I had people that were like, I'm not trying to meet anybody new. Let me see what's going on with this pandemic. We're supposed to stay 6 feet apart. You're telling me to come together. And I'm like, okay, you're right. So I had to expand. And that's how my business grew. So instead of staying in Washington State, I opened up my business to the U.S. So anyone who's born and raised in the U.S. or currently residing in the U.S., I wanted to work with them. And then my business just grew and grew and grew. So the pandemic was a blessing and a curse, but I focused on the positive side of things.
Wow.
I had to.
Yeah. And you're flexible, which is important as an entrepreneur.
Very, 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 very flexible. Yes. Very important as well.
Yep. So, who or what inspires you to do this work?
People, especially in our community, our people. A lot of people say, oh, I'm giving up on love, or there's no more good ones out there. And I'm just like, what? There's 7.8 billion people and counting. If you're patient enough to wait for it and do the work and be open and honest about what it is that you need and want and desire in your life, it could happen for you. But it all comes down to mindset. I mean, I remember I went through a very traumatic breakup and I was like, I never love again. It's done for me. It's good. I'm good. Solo, don't like all this extra stuff. And I'm just like, I mean, that's the thing a lot of people have. But if you think about it, you still have air in your lungs. So why not go out there and just see what's available to you? As long as you are living and breathing, you might as well invite love into your life. Just be patient about it when it comes to the process and meeting new people, and be open and honest. It's not an easy thing, but it's a beautiful thing when it works out. So people inspire me, people that still believe in love in 2022. That's what inspires me.
That's what's up. So, I want to revisit something from your bio. So you have ages 28 to 68 who are single and entanglement free and serious about their search to find true love. How did you come to that set of criteria for folks who you'll take on? Yeah. So I used to say 30. I wanted to start off with 30 because I feel like 30 people they're really more excited and more serious. But then I met some really adventurous 28-year-olds. By that time, you've already graduated from college, most of them. Some of them are already career focused, and all they're missing is that missing piece. And it's 2 years before 30. So they're kind of trying to find that person right before, so I figured 28, that's like my starting point. Now, I have worked with people slightly younger, but again, it just depends on who they are. But generally speaking, it's 28 up until 68, because 70, I mean, I feel like that can be kind of hard sometimes. A lot of people are set in their ways, but I've been lenient if I like your heart and if I can just see that you truly want this. And if I like your energy too, because I don't want to shut someone away just because of their age if they're really looking, but I have to also be honest. Well, this is majority of what I'm working with as far as clientele. So it may take me a little bit longer, but if you're patient enough, I'll do my best to help you in any way I can. I just feel like those ages are where I could take people more serious, but not always, just generally, if that makes sense. And tell me about the entanglement free part of that.
Yeah. So I love Will Smith and Jada. I love them a lot, but I did get the entanglement. I did get that whole, I don't even know what to call it, that term from Jada when she said, so because I want people that are just like ready. I don't want people that are still involved with someone else or still got something over. Because if I introduce you to someone that's just ready to love you and you're still over here with this person that doesn't really serve you, then maybe they give you what you want in bed, but they don't give you what you want relationship wise, then you're just wasting my time. So please just be entanglement free and ready for something real. Because a lot of people are just out here wanting something to lay with, which is fine, but that's not what I do. I'm trying to introduce you to someone that you want to say I do to. So when you come to me, just be entanglement free. I ask that respectfully.
What's your favorite thing about what you do?
I love seeing people come together and like, oh, you know what? I know I said that it's important that he be 6 feet tall, but 5'10" is just as good. And we're working out just fine. Or people that stop believing in it. Like I had this one gentleman who was 66 and he did not believe that I'd be able to help him because he's been in the Army for like 30 years. He's retired vet and he's divorced. And he was just like, it's hard. Dating out there is difficult. But I coached him. I coached him for several months and I gave him homework and he was able to approach a woman, take her out to dinner. Now they're still dating. And it's been months. He didn't even need me as a matchmaker anymore, you know, but he believed and he wanted to try something different. And he was nervous. He didn't think that he should. He's like, what can a 30-year-old woman in her 30s tell me about dating? And I'm like, sir, you are 66. You still have air in your lungs. Let's just try this coaching and see how it does. And when I gave him homework, he said, you won't give me a homework? I'm a grown man. I'm like, sir, what did you pay me for? Come on. So, but he was successful. He approached a woman at the grocery store, approached a woman at the gym. The one at the grocery store said yes, they had dinner and they've been dating ever since, you know? And it's beautiful stories like that. Like love can be found at any age. You just got to be willing to try something different. You can't keep going to the same places and complaining about the people that you're meeting. You got to step outside of your comfort zone and try something new. So yeah, that's what makes me happy is actually changing people's love lives, like giving them hope again. Because a lot of people have lost it, sadly.
Yeah. I see Erica look like you feeling being
like
dragged right now.
Like,
you okay?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be drugged this whole fucking interview. So
I saw your face.
I'm ready for it. I love
Yeah, so all right, let's go. You're a lovely woman, but I will probably tell you multiple times over this interview.
Loud.
Stay out of my business.
That's okay. What's the most challenging part of your work?
Oh, okay. So I would say 75% of my clients, sometimes more, are women. Women usually know what they want. Men take too much time trying to sew up the roll oats or whatever you want to call it, or their pride gets in the way. I don't need a matchmaker, but you do though, sir. You do. You're trying to find a wife though, right? I'm confused. Or you're trying to find a husband, just depending on how you identify. But when it comes to men and matchmaking, finding melanated, marriage-minded men, that has been the hardest thing for me because I'm very specific. And some of my clients aren't as patient. So we have to have the conversation. Like Valentine's Day, but last month, so have you found me a No, I know it's around Valentine's Day. I know you want them now, but I have your criteria. I know what you're looking for, but the people I'm screening, they're not measuring up. I have clients that like, they want to find someone that wants to get married within the next 2 years. I want to have children within the next 2 years because of like the biological clock. And I understand all of that. They've been to the doctors, they've frozen their eggs. I get that, but I'm not going to just introduce you to someone willy nilly just to say, here's your match. I want them to be someone that you can see yourself saying I do to. I want you to be aligned on many different things. I focus on the needs. A lot of people, they focus so much on chemistry. I'm focusing on compatibility and hoping that there's chemistry because chemistry is the thing. Oh, she is so fine. I cannot wait to get to know her. You know, oh, I love the way he smells. But then like, oh, you have 7 kids and you don't want marriage? Okay, cool. You're not compatible, right? So the hardest challenge for me is getting people to focus on compatibility versus chemistry. You know, that's a challenge because everybody wants to go off, oh, well, he has to look this way or she has to be built like this. I'm just like, does she though? Does he though? Because if you're 70, 80, 90 years old, I promise you that 6-pack or that fat ass isn't going to matter to you as much. Believe that. Yeah. So that's
cute get ugly real fast. That's what my grandma used to say. Cute can get ugly.
It can. It really can. I mean, I'm here for it. It's a challenge though. It is. I have a lot of in-depth conversations. I have to bring people back to earth. And I always tell people, if you don't like a really direct approach and if you're not patient, I'm not the matchmaker for you. I'm not going to hold your hand and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to be real with you. I'm very honest. I had a past client. She was in her mid-50s. She demanded he be 6 feet tall, 6 figures, in shape, with no gray hair.
What?
He married or whoring?
But also a child because no gray hair? What?
Listen. And I asked her, I was like, let's have another conversation, but let's revisit this conversation because I'm finding men for you that just want to date you, want to get to know you, but they have some gray. No, honey, if I could dye my hair, so can he.
Oh.
So she's no longer a client of mine. I wish her the best of luck in her search, but you know.
So,
but that's a thing. Yeah, go ahead.
What does it look like to you? Because I think we all know, or most of us know what it looks like to get on an app and look for somebody. What does it look like to work with a matchmaker to find someone?
So every matchmaker is different. I've coined myself as NYA Love and Dating Services in the name of my company, but I'm also not your average matchmaker. That's what NYA stands for. So I go above and beyond. I'm always headhunting. It is exhausting. I'm sliding in DMs. I'm on LinkedIn looking for the professionals. You know, because it's an everyday thing and I can't be shy. If I see someone that I feel will be a good fit for my client, I'm walking up to them, checking for a ring first. And if they don't got one, hi, my name is She. Are you single? Excuse me? Oh, I'm a matchmaker. Oh, are you? And then people don't believe that matchmakers exist. So I can show you my website, let's have a conversation. And then it's the screening, going over deal breakers. I even talk about pets. There's some people that would date someone that has one pet, but not two.
Cat. Yeah, see?
That's another thing. See, that's what I'm saying.
Because I'm allergic to cats. They would kill me.
Exactly. And I talk about that.
I love dogs. I love dogs. And I used to have a dog. And like, if I saw a guy with a dog, I was like, nope, because you're not going to love my baby. Like, I love my... Mind you, I have a child.
Right.
I'm like, I know you can do, but yeah, I was like, you ain't gonna love my baby the same way I love mine.
Yeah. See, and there's so many things to consider. There's so many parameters. I talk about everything. The consultation is an hour and 15 minutes of me asking you about who you are and what you're looking for. And it has to be done on video. I do not take consultations with people. Oh, just give me a phone call. We'll talk. No, I need to see your face. When I ask, what did your last relationship teach you? If you're like, well, I don't, no.
You ever want to get cats time to make up a lie?
Yeah, right. And you just can't look at the camera like, I'm over here, sir, or ma'am, are you okay? I've had people break down during consultation, just start crying like, I don't think you're ready to date. I don't think you're ready to date.
I feel like a lot of what you're doing, a huge part of it. Yeah, especially with the dating coaching, like it is therapy.
It is essentially. I do find myself doing a lot of therapeutic type things, but I always tell people I'm not a licensed therapist, but I will recommend one if I feel like it's necessary. I think that therapy is a beautiful thing that we should not shy away from, especially in our community. I also do talk about mental health in my consultations because God forbid someone's like hiding the fact that they have schizophrenia and I'm trying to introduce you to someone, or you have multiple personalities. I want to know, who are they going to meet? So that's another question I have to have with people. And it's kind of uncomfortable. But I've had people reveal, oh, the last matchmaker didn't ask me about mental health. I'm like, okay, well, I will. Like per HIPAA, obviously you don't have to share anything that you feel really uncomfortable disclosing. But if you're hiding something like that, that's major. There's so much stuff that I do that people don't even realize, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't. It's just, it feeds my soul, like I wake up ready to do what I got to do, but it's an ongoing thing. There are no breaks really. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm looking to see
new city, new clients.
And I'm thinking about the mental health thing, like about, it's interesting, right? Because it's a set of things that you have to decide at what point do you disclose certain things about yourself, right? Because it's not everybody's business what you have going on with your mental health, with your physical health, with your sexual, with a whole bunch of different stuff. So it makes me think of this question of like, at what point do you disclose those things? And like, if you disclose them to the matchmaker, does that mean that you've also disclosed them to any potential people that you're dating? Like, how does that come into play?
Oh, great question. Okay, so here's the thing, right? If someone tells me straight up, I've suffered from depression, but I've been in therapy, I also ask them, another part of that question or the equation is, okay, are you open to dating other people that have also suffered from depression? Because it's very common. Depression and anxiety is the most common thing, especially in our community. And mind you, I launched in February 2020. Yeah, so
we in depressing times.
The consultations were heavy and deep. It was rough. We saw a lot. We always sing a lot as a Black community, but it was really heavy in 2020. So after asking that question and find out what they're dealing with, but oh, you know what? I can definitely date someone who has depression because I know how to cope with it. I've been in therapy. And then there are other people like, I can't deal with it. I have myself to consider. It's something that I'm uncomfortable with, but I can deal with someone who has anxiety because that makes me feel like I can just help them through that versus them being sad all the time or not knowing how to make them happy. I'm like, okay, everyone is different, but I always ask, is there anything you're struggling with? And are you comfortable dating someone else who's struggling? And I get varied answers. If they're in therapy, great. Or I don't mind because I do too. Or only if it's a situational thing, like a parent passed away or a child, that depression is real and understandable versus this is something I use medication for. Right. So everyone's different, but I have to ask the questions. I do. I do. And it gets really deep. I've cried in consultations. I've laughed really hard till I was crying in consultations. I love consultations. That's how I get to connect with people. And sometimes we're a great fit and sometimes we're not. If I don't like your energy or you're negative, I can't help you. And that's what I had to learn. Because in 2020, I said yes to everybody. Oh, I'm a matchmaker. I can help you. And you're all getting husbands and wives. But I learned really quickly, I can't do that. So in 2022, I know how to say no. This is not going to be a good fit, my love. I'll have to go to someone else. Or because my website, I have some people, some white men that'll reach out to me. Oh, I'm looking for a sister. I'm like, okay, sir, let's learn more about that. Yeah, she has to be brown and or really dark skinned. I'm like, okay, well, is this like a fetish? Or, I mean, well, if it's a fetish, but I still want to marry. No, sir, no, just no. I wish you the best. Oh, you're not going to help me? I could pay. It's not about you paying. It's not about you paying. I want to make sure the people I'm introducing are going to love people for who they are, not just because it's a fetish or something like that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff that I do, but I'm like the gatekeeper for my business, right? As a matchmaker, I want to protect my clients. I want to protect their hearts, obviously, and do the very best I can to introduce them to someone that they will truly like, although there are no guarantees because I'm focusing on needs.
I want to say, as someone who has mental health issues, for everyone who is listening, we know that whether we use medication or we use therapy or we self-manage, that we are still deserving of love and companionship, and that those things are not disqualifying issues. So
yes.
My super anxious ass is.
I'm so glad you said
I feel
that. I'm
so blessed in that my partner is so wonderful in like talking through my anxiety with me. And it's something I told him really early on, but like, you know, everybody comes to that in a different way in terms of how they disclose and, you know, that kind of thing. And it's a lot. It can be a lot, or it can be easy if you're with the right person.
Yes.
I think it's important to have, and I love that you asked that question, because also it makes it normal. And I feel like if you talk to someone, they're like,
then
I don't do that shit, I don't do this shit. And you're like, well, all right. And that's as someone that's dating, you ask all the questions and get them out the way so that you can really like, I find when I meet someone, it's like, oh, I'm so excited. Please don't let this motherfucker like turn on R. Kelly in the car. That kind of shit, right? You be like, he's great. And you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. So, you know, you get all that out the way.
Just focus on if there's chemistry or not. All of those little questions that you would ask. Do you have kids? All that I already explained. I already have all that information, even down to politics. But I started adding, are you open to dating a Trump supporter? Because I've been surprised before. I've heard everything. And that's a major thing. Politics and religion and kids, those three always come up. Always. And then cigarettes, major deal breaker for many. But then some people are okay with people smoking cigars. Like, oh, you can have a celebratory cigar every now and then. If you're celebrating something, you can go to cigar lounge, but not cigarettes. And then some people, they could be 420 friendly, but not cigarettes. So it's just like, it's just so many nuances. But I ask all the questions as much as I can.
That's pretty cool. I think a lot of people are afraid to ask the questions. Like, we've been watching Love is Blind, and like, and like being so blown away at the things that people are afraid to ask each other. Like, but if you don't have those conversations right away, then you look up weeks, months in and realize that you have all these incompatibilities because you were afraid to talk about these things right up front. I mean, that was definitely me in my 20s, but I'm grown now. I can't.
Right.
Well, I also like how, girl, we veered off this thing, but I also like how you said, I take care of compatibility so you can focus on chemistry. Like, that is, I met this guy. He was great. But I kept saying, he don't make my pussy sparkle. He don't make my pussy sparkle. And so I guess that's chemistry, right? And so, and it's great to like be able, I mean, like, he was a great guy. And so being able to just focus on the chemistry part was actually refreshing now that I look back.
But you just use past tense. So he gone.
Because the nigga ain't make my pussy sparkle.
It gotta sparkle and glisten. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta make it like like a little sparkler.
I love it.
Okay, so we use so you know, we're a sex podcast. So we use erotica as a jumping off point for conversations about lots of things, including sex. So we like to ask about the lessons folks learn when they're young. So what was the prevailing attitude about sex and sexuality and gender in your home growing up?
All right. So I grew up in a Nigerian Christian home, and I was told to wait until I was married. That did not work out for me. However, I was kind of the black sheep, I would say, because I was the first one to explore my sexuality. I came out to my family as bisexual, which later turned to lesbian, which now I fully know that I am pansexual. And I don't think my family knew how to take that. There were a lot of, let's pray the gay way. I've had Holy Ghost.
Oh.
I've had people lay hands on me at church gatherings and whatnot. And I just let them pray, but I still love women afterwards. I don't, I appreciate the efforts and I still believe in God. I'm so grateful for my blessings, but what I learned in my childhood versus what life showed me is completely different. And I just want to be happy. And me identifying as pansexual, but hetero-romantic, that's a whole nother thing. But I had to come to terms with what that meant, right? So being someone who's been in every type of relationship you can imagine, I don't shy away from any type of conversations. When people tell me, oh, I've tried this or I've tried that, or I've been with my spouse for this long, but I'm thinking about other people, or I had this kiss in college with a woman, but now I'm still thinking about her and I've been married for 20 years. Can you help? I'm like, yeah, let's have this conversation. Nothing scares me when it comes to life and love and sex, because we're all just humans trying to find our way. You know, and society makes it really difficult for us to be proud and stand in who we are, because we're taught from an early age, this is not right. You know, especially if you're raised in a religious household, you can't do this. You shouldn't do this. Like, and I've met the biggest hypocrites in the church. And I'm not saying that everyone that goes to church is a hypocrite, but I'm seeing some things. And I'm going to talk about the Catholic Church. And, you know, so all I'm saying is I encourage everyone to be happy. Do whatever makes your soul sing. That's what you should do. You know, and explore. Me personally, I've been in polyamorous relationships before. I've dated women, I've dated men, I've dated a couple before. They were married. I've dipped and dived and experienced, and now I know exactly who I am. And I think that everyone's different. Like sometimes you need to experience things to know what you like, and sometimes you just know. But to each their own. Just do whatever makes you happy, and fuck what society has to say, because they're not going nowhere. Society will be what society is going to be, but you have to live with your decisions.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. So this might be a pedestrian question, and tell me I'm going somewhere with that simple ass question. Would you be open to matching a couple or like a polyamorous, a couple or a pod? Is that I mean, I feel like that would be so fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Right?
So I've been
if it's everyone.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Together as opposed
that's the thing. I've been approached before. Like, can you help us find a third? And I'm like, you know what? I don't discriminate at all, but that's just not my ministry. That's just not what I'm doing right now. It's too much trying to find a match for one person, but two. And then I'm going to go in depth, like, oh, let's talk about love languages. Or what is your love language? And your spouse's love language? Or what is their love language? It's just too much. It's too much. And right now,
yeah, I feel like that's a jump from arithmetic to algebra.
Basically, yeah, no, I would not. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that does. And there's different sites. I'm sure they can find something. I see a lot of people post on dating apps that as a couple. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's what I say. Speaking of apps.
Speaking of apps. Why might someone go with a matchmaker instead of using apps?
So it's just more of an in-depth experience, right? And I do run background checks. On the app. You can't really, I mean, you can get some information, but mostly they're not running background checks. That's one thing. Also, there's certain things I'll ask you that you won't get from a dating app. I mean, it'll say stuff like your height, your age, where you're located, sometimes children, sometimes pets, but it doesn't dive as deep. You know, people can put stuff in their bio, but not everyone's going to be as thorough. So I have this whole 1 hour, 15-minute conversation. You know, we've only been speaking here, 28 minutes. And there's already been a lot that you've learned, but an hour and 15 minutes while I'm connecting with you one-on-one, like I have everything about you, all the good things, all the things that I need to know in order to correctly match you with someone else. Right. So you can't get all that on a dating app. But the bonus of having a dating app is all the options. It takes a lot of time, but you can swipe and swipe and swipe until you find someone that you connect with and go from there. But then you still have to ask all the questions. Whereas I already have those questions answered for you. And I'm presenting this person to you, thinking that they are a good match for you. It's only up to you to decide what you want to do with it. So I think that's the benefit of working with the matchmaker. It's more of an in-depth approach. And then you get assistance throughout, your dating experience, not just, okay, you match, good luck.
Right. No,
you know?
okay. So Last week, we read a book called His Only Wife, and it features a woman who marries a man who she doesn't know at the urging of their families. And it got us thinking about the ways that we go about looking for love, which is how we decided we wanted to have a matchmaker, and which is how we found you and reached out and you said yes and all of those things. But so one of the ways that some people obviously find folks are through arranged marriages. What do you think about taking that route to love?
Honestly, I think that arranged marriage is a great idea as long as they have some criteria of what you're looking for. I don't think that that's obviously there can be some things that come up, and chemistry, that's a major thing because they may be compatible, but you don't know about chemistry yet. So, but once you're in a marriage, it's a full on commitment. You are committed, like the utmost commitment. So it's like, I think it's a great idea for those that are open to do it. I mean, I would do it. I'm a little bit biased though, I think, but I would definitely do it. You know, I mean, I just think it's important for people to just do whatever feels good to them, but just don't be that person that desires love, but just sits in the same corner every day and doesn't change anything about their love life. They're just sitting there. Oh, well, maybe one day they'll find me. I hate when people say that.
Like they gonna materialize in your living room.
Yeah, like how? How exactly?
They don't bust down the door. In the book, the main character, Afi, has trouble saying what she wants from her partner. And you mentioned that you see that come up in your intake. How do you help your clients figure out what they are actually looking for?
So my questions are really in depth. They'll know exactly what they're looking for at the end of it. But people that struggle, I'm just like, listen, very simple. We're all going to die one day. As dark as that is, it's the truth. So while you're on this earth, why don't you focus on the things that bring you joy? And if you're not getting something that you need that would bring you joy, it's best that you speak on it, right? Because what you don't want to do is end up resenting your partner, right? You don't want to just be sitting there pussy dry every time you're in the bedroom. Like, for what? That's not fun for anyone. I want them to experience as much love and joy and happiness as this world has to offer. But with a closed mouth, you'll never get fed. You know, and everyone needs to eat. So I just keep telling them, like, your happiness matters. Open that beautiful mouth of yours and speak, because they won't know otherwise. There's some men that to this day, and I'm not trying to bash any men here, but they think that they're killing it in the bedroom and she's just faking every orgasm. I don't remember what the statistics are, but a lot of women fake orgasms in heterosexual relationships, and they shouldn't have to. Right. Yeah. Let him know what feels good. And if something needs work, then just tell him. I always say the sandwich method is the best approach, where you start off with the bread, like you know what, honey, I really like the way you stroke it from the back. It feels really good. You know, and then in the middle it's just like, but I would like more foreplay at the beginning. More, something. Or
my kid is not a DJ booth.
You know, but you know, you just kind of hit him with the things that you really need in the middle. Like, you know, I need more foreplay. I need more kissing. I need you to make me feel more desire before we get into the bedroom, you know, and then end with but I really like this, or I really enjoy our sex lives together. I just want us to be even more enjoyable, you know, because egos can get bruised really easily. No one really likes to hear they're not performing as well, but it can only enhance the experience. So just open your mouth and speak. Talk about the hard stuff. It'll pay off in the long run.
So another theme in the book is that Afi really struggles with knowing who to take advice from as it relates to her marriage. And she takes some really bad advice along the way, particularly from her family. They all fucked up. But it makes me think about, you know, what does it look like to build a healthy support system for people who are trying to create and maintain healthy romantic relationships, right? Like, I think about the fact that, like, when you're married or in a long-term relationship, you need to have people who are like friends of your marriage, who, when you have trouble, who are not fucking haters, but who... Exactly.
Take your ass back home and
so
talk
what
to
does
that
it
woman,
look like to build a healthy support system to create and maintain healthy romantic relationships?
Yeah. So 2 words, positive energy. You just want to surround yourself with people that have positive energy, and people are going to keep it real with you. You don't want the friend that's always going to be like, oh, it's okay, everything's going to be fine, because maybe they won't be. Maybe it won't be fine. Or maybe you're getting abused and you need to leave this man or woman, or whatever the case may be, if you want to find your happiness. So you want people that are going to have positive energy, but also keep it real with you. don't surround yourself with people that are just miserable all the time. There's some people that still have friends that no longer serve them, but they're keeping them in their lives. Oh, well, we go back 15 years. Who cares? Who cares? Because if that person is no longer adding joy to your life or speaking life into you, then what do you have them there for? Life is fucked. There are some really fucked up things happening right now in like just life. It can get really rough out there without having a strong support system. But just pay attention to how you feel when someone's around, like in your circle. If after you speak to them, do you feel completely depleted or do you feel happy and positive, like you're going to make it through? You need people like that, because I'm telling you, life can be kind of hard sometimes. So just focus on people that bring you joy and the people that always have your best interest in mind. Always positive energy.
Okay. So what is the number one piece of advice you would give to someone who is looking for love right now?
Don't give up. Don't give up. It is rough out there, but for every person that you meet that is nothing like what you're looking for, there's going to be somebody that is. You just got to be patient and try something different. Try as many things as you can. There's some people that have tried the dating apps, is not for them. They come to me. Great. You're trying something different. But I also encourage, in addition to me, go to meetup groups, go to singles events in your areas. Meetup.com is very, 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 very good at having something to do in every single city. I've always seen every single city, they always have something to do. And I encourage all of my clients, oh, I hired you. That's fine. In the process of me looking, make sure you get yourself out there, get comfortable talking to other single people. So when I get you on this date, you're not like, what are you doing? Like, just get out of your comfort zone, but don't give up on love. You are worthy of love and you are enough. So I remind people that all the time, but they just have to hear it enough times. So yeah, that's my best advice.
What's your superpower?
Thank you.
Whew. This heart that beats in my chest, that's my superpower. Yeah, I have a lot of passion for what I do. I think that a lot of people would have given up by now. It is very tedious. It's very tedious and it's a grind. But when people come together, and they're looking at themselves like eye to eye, face to face, and they're kissing and holding, and you're the reason why they're together and they found this love they didn't believe existed. That is everything. That gives me joy. That lights me up. So yeah, I would say my heart and my passion, those are my superpowers for sure.
Cool. So we like to ask,
That's not because I try to push you out, bitch. That's
and my question. No, it's because the entire interview would be like the questions I'm about to ask right now.
They're fun.
Which make absolutely no sense and have nothing to do with it. Okay, so we are going to play a little game that I call the perfect pair.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a category, and you tell me the perfect pair.
Okay.
So, for example, food. My favorite pair. Well, what I think is a perfect pair: Popeye's chicken and champagne.
Oh,
it's a perfect pair. Unexpected,
yeah,
but delightful. So, food. Kenrya, you're gonna have to answer this too. So tell me what you think is a perfect pair.
Food. Ooh, chicken and a grill. Does that work? I just like grilled chicken because I'm trying not to eat as much fried.
All right.
I love how chicken tastes grilled. I think that's a good pair.
I mean, okay, I'll give it to you. Anything tastes good grilled, to be quite honest. Put a shoe on the grill and I'm like, that bitch.
Fish and spaghetti.
What about you, Kenrya?
Ooh, I was gonna say rice and beans because I eat a lot of rice and beans, but fish and spaghetti is my all-time favorite.
Okay. Colors.
Ooh, red and gold.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kenrya?
I mostly wear fucking charcoal with like pops of neon. Black and white.
Okay. I like blue and pink. If it's like a bright pink and a dark blue, or
I think royal blue is
just
so sexy.
Yeah.
something about that. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Musical acts.
Musical acts. Oh, drums and dancing. No, it's not a musical act. I'm sorry. Circle back to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
What you got, Kenrya? Look in the notes.
She put Jay-Z and
wrote
Linkin
that for
Park
you.
because their mashup album is like one of my favorite mashup
Oh,
albums.
that was a
That's
good-
true. I do very much
Yeah.
love that. Thank you.
That was really good. song, I
Yes.
think we did
Yep.
Numb
Numb is
together.
on
I don't know,
there.
they just
It's a
sound-
great. It's like
that-
7 tracks, and each one of
Yes.
them is fantastic. Yeah.
So we're talking about artists? Okay, when I said acts, I thought about like a drummer and something. Okay, I'm overthinking it. Oh, now I forgot her name. That is so sad, and I love her. No, I remember her name now. Janelle Monáe and Jill Scott.
That would be good.
That'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
What about you?
That would be great. So I'm simple. City girls.
I did not expect that at all.
I told you I'm simple. Either that or Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell.
Yes.
They always make
I
a
miss
good
Marvin.
combination. So yeah, either
Throwing it back.
throwing it back or throwing it back Motown style.
I'll take it. I love Motown.
All right, so that ends the Erica question.
That was a really, I like that. Perfect.
Today.
That's cute. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, that was
what are you
cute. I
reading
like
right now?
To be completely transparent, nothing. I'm seriously just focused on clients. I'm not even. I haven't
Reading these
Yeah, I'm
personalities.
reading personalities. I'm definitely reading personalities. Every now and then I dip and dabble back into the 5 love language book because I think it's very interesting. And it does help. I do require all my clients to do the love language test before the consultation with me so I can have a good gauge of where they're at. But yeah, I'm reading personalities, reading files of clients, trying to put things together, all that, like constantly.
I was just looking back.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I think I was looking back at old pictures or screenshots or something. My partner and I did that. I think it might have been before our first date or maybe between our first and our second date. We each did it and then screenshot the results and sent it to each other. And I was just looking back at how fucking true his results are.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I don't oh my God, I'm horrible. So typically what I share with potential partners are my results for my BDSM test.
Yes.
And they're
Oh
like,
my
"What's
gosh.
your
I talk
sexual
about that
kinks?"
too. I talk about that
Like,
too.
I'm like, I'm a sub and a road bunny. What about you?
I'm a switch and a road bunny. I'm a switch and a road
That's
bunny.
so funny. I've never taken that test.
So
Okay.
yeah,
It's long but worth it.
I'll send you the
yeah,
link.
send it to me. That's cute.
Yeah, yeah, but it's fun. So, what's turning you on today?
What's turning me on today?
Yes.
Myself.
Yeah.
I turned myself on today. I put some nice shea butter, cocoa butter on my skin when I got out of, and I'm touching my legs. So I have a shorter dress on, and my legs feel really smooth. So I'm turning myself on today.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Hey.
Ooh, I like that person so much.
I love it.
Where-
Me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Cue Beyonce.
Yes.
Feeling myself.
I'm having a good day. So
you were telling us
Good.
that you quickly expanded. I'm wondering, like from Washington State to all of the United States. What's next for you? Like, not necessarily expansion, but like, what's next with your business? What's next with what you're doing? What's up?
Yeah. So I am going to be having some singles events. I want to call it like speed dating is cool and everything, but I want to like remix it a little bit. So like not your average speed dating event and just have all type of things, trivia, that brings people together. I want to throw a love language game in there to get people to connect more. Maybe have a spades table, but like have a trick to it, like at the end, like the winning couple group or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking of all these interesting things, but I want to have events where people come together, and meet and mingle and just have a good time. That is the next thing on my agenda. And just continue matchmaking and meeting new people and networking. That's really it. So, but it's an ongoing thing. Like it never ends. It never ends, and there's just so much joy that comes with what I do. I think that the thing I always wish though, is that I could just snap my fingers and have like the perfect partner for someone right there. But there's so much that comes with that. There's so much, but my clients, I have amazing, amazing clients. And the people that have chosen me to be their matchmaker out of all the other people they should have chose, I feel blessed. I have such amazing people, and it just makes me want to find them their person even more, So,
well, after hearing that, I'm sure that there are lots of people who would like to find you. Where can they find you online?
Yeah, so they can go directly to my website. It is www.n as in Nancy, Y as in Yankee, A as in Apple, loveanddating.com. So NYA loveanddating.com. If they want to add me on Instagram, they can feel free to do so as well. My alias there is NYA Love by Chi, and Chi is spelled
and it's
C-H-I.
the same handle on Twitter as well, right?
That is correct. Yep. They can follow me on Twitter, NYA Love by Chi as well.
So y'all go find her, make that happen, get some help with the love if that's what y'all looking for.
Please do.
Yes. In the meantime, thank y'all for listening. But even more importantly, Chi, thank you for saying yes and coming on and talking to us today.
Yes. I will always say yes to y'all. I love your energy. I love what you're doing. I love the name of the podcast too. Yes, I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. So yes, thank you so much for having me. It was truly a pleasure.
Absolutely. I hope all of y'all also got some pleasure out of this episode. And we appreciate y'all for joining us. And we'll see y'all next time. Take care. This episode was produced by us, Kenrya and Erica, and edited by Ballistic. The theme music is from Brazy. Hit subscribe right now in your favorite podcast app and at youtube.com/The Turn On Podcast so you'll never miss an episode.
Then follow us on Twitter at The Turn On Pod and Instagram at The Turn On Podcast. And you can find links to books, transcripts, guest info, what's turning us on, and other fun stuff at theturnonpodcast.com.
And don't forget to email us at theturnonpodcast@gmail.com with your book recommendations and your pressing sex and related questions.
And you can support the show by leaving us a 5-star review, buying some merch, or becoming a patron of the show. Just head to theturnonpodcast.com to make that happen.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Holla.